How's it going, guys? It is Glake back once again from the Evidentries, the Phantom Pages, the Evidentries YouTube, wherever you might know me from, or some just stranger on the internet. And today, we're going to be starting a new reading. This is going to be the, I guess you could say, part one or chapter one for the Kybalion reading. As I mentioned in the recent update vlog that I did, that I'd be starting 2 readings. Well, I would like to start 3, but as of now, I'm starting with 2. You know, to work on, to chip away at throughout the next month or so. And the Kybalion is one of them, and the completion process, which is technically the sequel to Shadows Before Dawn, is the other one that I'm going to be doing. But for this one, we're going to do the Kybalion. One of a book of which, like I said before, I feel like it's going to be something I'm going to walk away with constantly, having no idea what I just read. However, I think this book came to me at a very interesting time when I was overseas and I was surrounded by people who were more, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess they were just more traditionally they were more traditionally religious. They're the last people on the planet you would expect to be reading something like this, or, you know, something pertaining to the more metaphysical spirituality sort of stuff. And, you know, I was that type of person at the time, not traditionally religious, but I was taking a very heavy interest into this metaphysical, you know, woo-woo, otherworldly, spiritual side of things. And one of the people that I met on the trip actually ended up giving this book to me. He showed it to me, and I was like, oh, this seems like something I would be into. And he just said, hey, you can have it. And I guess ever since then, I sort of took it as a sign that I really should read this. Because, I mean, the book found me, I guess. So I've been meaning to get to it for the longest time, but I've got a ton of books that, like, I've not read that I'm just sitting on, basically using as paperweights and whatnot. So yeah, we're gonna start chipping away at this one. I'm gonna read the first chapter today, which shouldn't be too long. But let me tell you, you guys are really gonna have to bear with me, because I've skimmed through this book before. There's a lot of confusing stuff. I feel like it doesn't hold your hand all that much, and on top of that, there are a lot of big words. There are a lot of big words I might struggle with, you guys. So yeah, bear with me, but we're gonna jump into this now. The Kybalion, a study of the Hermetic philosophy of ancient Egypt and Greece by 3 initiates. Okay. Some quotes at the front. The lips of wisdom are closed, except to the ears of understanding. The lips of wisdom are closed, except to the ears of understanding. My God, this is beyond cryptic. Okay. To Hermes tries. Okay, this is another name I don't know how to pronounce. To Hermes, I used to know how to pronounce this. Is it Megistus? Because I know it goes to this name a lot. I should, let me look up how to pronounce this real quick. Sorry. I need to know how this is said. Because I don't want to butcher it every single time. Here, you guys could listen to it with me here. Oops, hang on.
Trismegistus.
Trismegistus. See, originally I was thinking Trismegistus or something. Hang on. Trismegistus.
Greek. Hermes Trismegistus.
Trismegistus. Okay. That's a lot easier than the other way, I think. Trismegistus. Okay, Trismegistus. I had to get that out of the way. Okay. All right. So I was saying, to Hermes Trismegistus, known by the ancient Egyptians as the great, and master of masters, this little volume of Hermetic teaching is reverently dedicated. Interesting. So our introduction is 7 pages, so I guess that's what we're going to read today, is the introduction. Okay. Wow. Introduction. We take great pleasure in presenting to the attention of students and investigators of the secret doctrines this little work, based upon the world-old Hermetic teachings. There has been so little written upon this subject, notwithstanding the countless references to the teachings in the many works upon occultism, that the many earnest searchers after the arcane truths will doubtless welcome the appearance of this present volume. The purpose of this work is not the enunciation of any special philosophy or doctrine, but rather is to give to the students a statement of the truth that will serve to reconcile the many bits of occult knowledge that they may have acquired, but which are apparently opposed to each other, and which often serve to discourage and disgust the beginner in the study. Okay, I almost forgot to add occultism and occult-related stuff in the beginning when I was talking about stuff I was into at the time, and still am to a very good degree. Just I'm a lot less crazy about it. Anyway, where was I? I've already lost my spot. This is how I know I'm very rusty at the moment, because I haven't done a reading in so long. Let's just start here. But that they may have acquired, but which are apparently opposed to each other, and which often serve to discourage and disgust the beginner in the study. Our intent is not to erect a new temple of knowledge, but rather to place in the hands of the student a master key, with which he may open the many inner doors in the temple of mystery through the main portals he has already entered. There is no portion of the occult teachings possessed by the world which have been so closely guarded as the fragments of Hermetic teachings which have come down to us over the tens of centuries which have elapsed since the lifetime of its great founder, Hermes Trismegistus. Okay. The scribe of the gods who dwelt in old Egypt in the days when the present race of men was in its infancy. Contemporary with Abraham, and, if the legends be true, an instructor of that venerable sage, Hermes was and is the great central sun of occultism, whose rays have served to illumine the countless teachings which have been promulgated since his time. All the fundamental and basic teachings embedded in the esoteric teachings of every race may be traced back to Hermes. Even the most ancient teachings of India undoubtedly have their roots in the original Hermetic teachings. Interesting. From the land of the Ganges? I guess it's Ganges. From the land of the Ganges, many advanced occultists wandered to the land of Egypt and sat at the feet of the master. From him they obtained the master key, which explained and reconciled their divergent views, and thus the secret doctrine was firmly established. From the other lands also came the learned ones, all of whom regarded Hermes as the master of masters, and his influence was so great that in spite of the many wanderings from the path on the part of the centuries of teachers in these different lands, there may still be found a basic resemblance and correspondence, which underlies that the many and often quite divergent theories entertained and taught by the occultists of these different lands today. The student of comparative religions will be able to perceive the influence of the Hermetic teachings in every religion worthy of the name, now known to man, whether it be a dead religion or one in full vigor in our times. There is always certain correspondence in spite of the contradictory features, and the Hermetic teachings act as the great reconciler. Forgive me, I really am going to need my water for this one. The life work of Hermes seems to have been in the direction of planting the great seed truth, which has grown and blossomed in so many strange forms, rather than to establish a school of philosophy which would dominate the world's thought. But nevertheless, the original truths taught by him have been kept intact in their original purity by a few men each age who, refusing great numbers of half-developed students and followers, followed the Hermetic custom and reserved their truth for the few who were ready to comprehend and master it. From lip to ear, the truth has been handed down among the few. There have always been a few initiates each generation in the various lands of the earth who kept alive the sacred flame of the Hermetic teachings, and such have always been willing to use their lamps to relight the lesser lamps of the outside world. Sitting like this is a little different than what I'm used to. I probably will switch it up with the next reading that I do. From the outside world, when the light of truth grew dim and clouded by reason of neglect, and when the wicks became clogged with foreign matter, there were always a few to tend faithfully to the altar, of the truth, upon which was kept alight the perpetual lamp of wisdom. These men devoted their lives to the labor of love, which the poet has so well stated in his lines: "Oh, let not the flame die out, cherished age after age in its dark cavern, in its holy temples cherished, fed by pure ministers of love, let not the flame die out." These men have never sought popular approval, nor numbers of followers. They are indifferent to these things, for they know how few there are in each generation who are ready for the truth, or who would recognize it if it were presented to them. They reserve the strong meat for men, while others furnish the milk for babes. Oh my goodness. They reserve their pearls for wisdom for the few elect who recognize their value and who wear them in their crowns, instead of casting them before the materialistic vulgar swine, who would trample them in the mud and mix them with their disgusting mental food. But still, these men have never forgotten or overlooked the original teachings of Hermes, regarding the passing on of the words of truth to those ready to receive it, which teaching is stated in the Kybalion as follows: "Where fall the footsteps of the master, the ears of those ready for his teachings open wide. And again, when the ears of the student are ready to hear, then cometh the lips to fill them with wisdom. But their customary attitude has always been strictly in accordance with the Hermetic aphorism, also known in the Kybalion: the lips of wisdom are closed, except to the ears of understanding." There are those who have criticized this attitude of the Hermeticists. Is that how we say it? The Hermeticists? I'm looking at it. Hermetists. Hermetists is how it's said. And who have claimed that they did not manifest the proper spirit in their policy of seclusion and reticence. But a moment's glance back over the pages of history will show the wisdom of the masters, who knew the folly of attempting to teach the world that which it was neither ready or willing to receive. The Hermetists have never sought to be martyrs, and have instead sat silently aside with a pitying smile on their closed lips, while the heathen raged noisily about them, in their customary amusement of putting to death and torture the honest but misguided enthusiasts who imagined they could force upon a race of barbarians the truth capable of being understood only by the elect who had advanced along the path. And the spirit of persecution has not yet died out in the land. There are certain Hermetic teachings which, if publicly promulgated, would bring down upon the teachers of a great cry of scorn and these words again, and revilement from the multitude who would again rise the cry of "Crucify, crucify." In this little work, we have endeavored to give you an idea of the fundamental teachings of the Kybalion, striving to give you the working principles, leaving you to apply them yourselves. It's so funny that there are some typos in here. Unless therm is a word. Maybe it is. I would look it up, but I closed my web browser. But I'm assuming that's supposed to be them. Leaving you to apply them yourselves. Rather than attempting to work out the teaching in detail, if you are a true student, you will be able to work out and apply these principles. If not, then you must develop yourself into one, for otherwise the Hermetic teachings will be as words, words, words to you. Yeah, right now that's exactly what they are. And that does it for the introduction. Already a mouthful, as I already stated, but I'm already intrigued. That was the first time. This is honestly probably the furthest I've actually just read through this thing. I don't think I've ever finished the introduction before. So round of applause for me, I guess. So yeah, that was the introduction. We'll start chapter 1, which is the Hermetic philosophy. We will start that with the next part. Like I said, I want to keep these as consistent as possible going forward. I know the Shadows Before Dawn reading took, well, we're not going to talk about how long it took for me to actually finish that series, but needless to say, I would like to finish both the Kybalion as well as the completion process. Once I start that, I would like to finish them within a month or 2 at most. So expect there to be 2 or 3 parts each week up for each book. And yeah, hopefully we can finish them pretty soon. So, and get a lot out of it in the process. So that's going to be it for part 1 of the Kybalion, the introduction. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts and ideas and I don't know, theories in the comments below. And make sure you hit that subscribe button if you enjoy what you see here. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you for your energy. Take care.